Alright guys, so for this hydro dipping tutorial, we're going to be using this Ibanez SR 305E 5-string bass, and I got this on eBay for a really good deal. It's a $400 bass, and I got it for $150 because it's got damage to it, where the knob was bashed in here, and this is all busted up. And also up here, we got some damage right there, but for the most part, everything else works good. The electronics all work and everything, so the neck's in good shape, so should be fun. So your first step you always want to do whenever you hydro dip something is form a game plan. First off, think about what you want to do. Second off is assess everything on the base. Like for me, obviously I got all this crap that I'm going to fix. I got this thing I'm going to fix. There's more little bumps and bruises. So I'm going to make a mental note that I want to fix this all while I'm refinishing it. And just kind of form a game plan. Okay, and the next thing you want to do is take it all apart. First, I'm just going to take off everything that I can get off with just a screwdriver, and then we'll check back, and then we'll more detailed show you how to take out the electronics and stuff. But let's start off, just take off the strings and everything I can get off with a screwdriver. So first step, you're going to need to strip this thing down, so let's do that. Okay guys, so we took everything off. You can just get off with a screwdriver and stuff. And I took a closer inspection on where this is bashed in, and this is pretty bad. Like, it goes all the way through. I'm going to have to use some like Bondo or epoxy or something to really rebuild this up before I would fill it and sand it. I don't know, I'll have to take a closer look at that. But that's just, something I have to deal with. You probably don't have to deal with that. Now, what you're going to want to do is what I always do is, first off, I take a bunch of pictures with my cell phone, or right now I'm filming it, so I can always just look at that, but just say I wasn't filming it, I would get out my phone and take some pictures of just what everything looks like, and put this back where that's supposed to be too. Okay, and then I take a close one of the output jack for when I rewire that up. Oops. Yeah, so I take a picture of that. Just kind of move stuff around, make sure you know where the pickups are going to. And then, usually what I do is I do this then. Okay, so I'm going to clip this. Most bases do not have this much wiring. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to... should I clip this? You know what? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label these all 1 through 6. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know, so I'm 100% positive where to put them together. If you don't want to draw on them with a marker, use some masking tape. I don't care. I'm just going to draw on these, whatever. 1, 2. I'll put them in the clip, I guess. I don't know where to put the 3 in this one. 3. Hopefully, I can't really. That do not look like a 3. Okay, that's a little bit better. Whatever. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I will not I make sure I will not put them in the wrong spot. Then I'm actually first. Let's just take all these off. These I can just get off finger tight. You might have to use a wrench sometimes. Yeah, like this one's on there pretty good. Oh, I think I got it off. Alright, that one's on pretty tight. So I'm just going to use these because they're right here. Remember, you're going to be refinishing it, so if you give it a little scratch, it's not really a big deal. Alright. Okay, so we got all that off. Take all these washers out. Alright. Okay, I'll take this one off too right now, why not? Oakley dokley. Okay, now there's a couple ways you could do this. I'll show you the way I like to do this. Okay, so first I'm going to get all these so they're kind of coming off here. I'm going to cut this clip just so, or this zip tie, just so I can see what the hell's going on here a little better. Okay, now fortunately this one, I can just unclip these and they go right back in there. So what I'm going to do, so I make sure I don't put these on the wrong ones later, I actually have these, but once again, just use masking tape or whatever you got. So, you see one's green and one's red. So I'm going to put a green and a pink on the sides here so I know which one goes where. So this one's green. I'm going to put it back. I'm going to put that one right there. Okay. And then I'm going to use pink to simulate the red. Okay. Cool, so now I know I will not put those in the wrong spots. Or if I do, I'm a real idiot. Oh, there we go. Look, it fell off. Come on, Dylan. Get it together, Dylan. Alright, there we go. Okay, hopefully those stay on there. Okay, so for these pickups, I'm just going to have to unclip them. But what I normally would do is I'll just snip them, and then I'll just twist them together and put a little drop of solder. Or what you could do is you could unsolder them. Fortunately, this one just has these clips, so I can just pull these off. How do these come off? Make sure I don't break these. There we go. Just pull out. Fortunate enough. Okay. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So all this, for the most part, should just pull out then. And then the only thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to snip right here. But what I like to do here actually is I actually like to just cut them, so then I'll just resolder them, and I'm going to cut them short just so they still have a little piece of whatever on them, so I know where to go where. Okay. Then we're just going to get this off. Let me grab a wrench and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we got all the electronics pulled out for the most part. I'm going to leave these wires in because I am going to be having the control cavity on, and that'll mask it off in the process. So I don't need to worry about that, but if you are not going to hydro dip your cover, make sure to take everything out and then mask off all this side so you don't have to reshield it. I am going to mask that off with masking tape, but before I go ahead and sand everything down, I'm going to have to use some Bondo to actually fix this because the structural integrity is gone. Like if I push this, I can push this through. So I use some wood glue on the backside, and then I'm just going to use regular car Bondo. And I'm going to Bondo this, and then when I sand everything, I'm going to sand down the Bondo and stuff as well. I'm also going to mask off in here, and I'm not going to mask off in here because the neck, the fake neck I use will block that. But yeah, so here we go. Let's Bondo it, and we'll get to sanding. Alright guys, so I got everything sanded, and once again, you don't have to sand it to complete bare wood or anything. You just got to scuff everything up so that your base coat or your primer or whatever will stick. Okay, now I masked off everything I don't want painted. I like doing just the front of the headstock, and I like to leave the logo, so I put some tape there, put the tape in the pickup cavities here. I left the back plate on, put some tape over here. Now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to prime it. You could either just brush on primer, or you could use some type of spray primer or white base coat. That's usually the route I like to go. It's just quicker, it's easier to work with. Now, you're going to have to rig this up. So this is just like a stick. It's like a plumber's, it goes to, I got it at Home Depot. I think it's for a plunger. You can buy just the sticks for like $1. Or you can use a scrap piece of wood that just fits in there. And then you're just going to bolt it on like you would normally, you know, bolt on the neck, but you're bolting on this stick. And this is just something to hold it while you spray it. Then I also I drilled a hole and I put a little string and a carabiner so I can hang it to dry. So you're going to have to find a way to rig it up to hang it. Definitely, you're going to want to do that. Unless you're brushing it on, then you just do one side, flip it over to the other side, back and forth. But you're going to need to have a way to hang it for when you hydro dip it anyway. So I would recommend going, if you go to like Home Depot or anywhere, they have scrap wood that sometimes they just give it to you for free, otherwise it's like $1. And you just find something that's like the right size or cut it down. Or this was just a piece and it was too big, so I snapped it in half. And now I got two sticks. So yeah, do whatever you got to do. Rig it up. I'm going to go ahead and prime this off camera, and then we'll be back when it's all primed up. Alright guys, we are ready to hydro dip. So I have this garbage can filled up with cold water. We are going to be using magic marble paint. Don't try to do this with spray paint or anything. You want professional results, get professional paint. I have nothing to do with this company, but they are the only company I know that you're going to get results like this. This is the only paint that's made specifically for hydro dipping. So you can get it on their website, magicmarble.com, or you can get it on mudholetackle.com, maybe some other places too, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's not too expensive, but you're going to get amazing results. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do it blue and black. So instead of just priming this white, I went ahead and base coated it with blue because I don't want any white in my pattern. If one of the colors you're dipping it in is white, then just leave it white. But if whatever the lightest color in your pattern is, you're going to need to base coat it with that. Otherwise, you're going to have white sticking through on spots where there's no paint in the water. Okay? So you're also going to need gloves, and you're going to need something to stir the pattern. I'd like to use a toothpick. So what we're going to do is I'm going to layer this about 4, I'm going to do 4 one color, 4 the other color, and probably about 4 or 5 times. Then swirl it, and when I dip it, I want to start kind of towards one end and move it this way as I dip it, because I want most of the pattern to be on the front. If you dip it directly in the middle, it'll look really good towards the bottom, and then kind of fade up towards the top. And most people you don't really see the back of the back guitar, so that's why I like to do it this way. This is really your artistic approach. Everyone's different. This is just, I'm going to show you the way I do it. You don't have to do it exactly like me, but you'll get results similar to me if you do. Okay, don't be cheap with this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start with blue. I'm going to do 4 circles of blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then I'm going to do 4 with black. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to just keep layering them. So now back to blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Back to black. Back in black. Oops. Try not to bump into it too much. That can kind of mess up the pattern. We look like we're good here though. Didn't seem to affect me much. We'll do one more layer of black maybe. And you want to work kind of quick. You don't want this to start to set up into the water. Okay, so now I'm going to take my toothpick and I want to lightly, don't overmix it. It's very important. You do not want to overmix it. So I'm just going to go up and down one way. Then I'm just going to really lightly go this way, back and forth. Okay, now I'm going to dip it, and I'm going to start kind of here and work my way this way. You will see here. So I'm going to start here-ish and work my way this way. Okay, then once it gets all the way in, you want to get all the water out of the way and then pull it back up. And look at that. Then shake as much water off as you can right away. You want to get as much water off as possible. This hand is covered in paint. So I'm going to take the glove off so I don't contaminate anything and accidentally get paint on the final project. Get off as much water as you can just by doing a light shake. Then you're going to want to let it hang for about an hour. Okay? Really happy with how it looks so far. I'll show you some better lighting once it's dry. Okay, so I'm going to go hang it up and we'll be back. Okay, now we're going to do the headstock. So same thing, just on a smaller scale. So we're using a smaller bucket so we don't waste as much paint, because obviously what we're doing isn't that big. For this one, I'm just going to do it like this. Just one bullseye kind of, just keep layering it. Okay, same thing, I'm going to give it a little stir. that looks pretty good, I guess. Good enough for me. And we're going to do it right. Let's do it right here-ish. Okay. Okay, we shake the paint off just like the other side. And I think that turned out pretty good. Really hard to see in here, it's real dark. But I'll show you guys after I clear coat it and with better lighting. Alright guys, take a look at this. I think this turned out absolutely beautiful. So I clear coated it, and I like to use Rust-Oleum crystal clear enamel. And after I did 3 coats of that. Did like first coat really light, then I did another coat pretty light, then I did 2 kind of thicker coats, and then I let it cure for 3 days. Okay, I just put the pickups back in because I had to watch the video to remember which color was the one and the other, and whatever. But okay, so we're at that point. Now, basically what you're going to do is you're just going to assemble everything. So we're going to time lapse this part. We're going to assemble everything except as far as the electronics and putting the strings on. Basically all the basic easy stuff, putting the bridge on, putting the hardware back in here, all that good stuff also too. That came out really good. And you want to take the masking tape off after the clear coat. Basically, I let the clear coat harden for a day, took off all the maskings, and then let the clear coat harden for 2 more days. Now, if you wanted to, you could hit this with a carnauba wax, but I have actually found out you do not want to wax it for like 2 weeks at least after you clear coat it, because even though the clear coat gets hard to the touch, it really does keep hardening. If you ever get a car painted, they tell you to not wax your car for like 3 months. I think it's a good idea to wait at least a couple of weeks, but I found that just after you clear it, works really good. So we're going to put all the basic components back together, and then we'll, do a little bit of soldering we got to do and get all the electronics going and string her up. Alright guys, so now we have all the basics. We got the output jack in, the bridge in, the pickup secured, all that good stuff, and then we have all the hardware put into the neck here. So the neck is finished, but before I bolt the neck on, I like to do the electronics just because it's easier to manage this while you solder if you do it before you put the neck on. It's just a big pain in the ass with the neck on. You need a bigger table, and you need to declutter your table and all that good shit, and I don't feel like doing that. So, we're going to put the electronics back in. Now, remember, I numbered them 1 through 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got lucky enough where my pickups actually just plug in, but you might have to do some soldering. If you're new to soldering, you can just splice the wires and twist them together and just put a bead of solder on the top. Or you could go to the hardware store, and in the electronics section, you can buy these little things that you just plug both ends of the wire in and you crimp it with pliers. They're called like quick connect crimps. If you're scared to solder, go ahead and do something like that. But if soldering isn't too bad to you, this is really basic. Basically, all we're going to be redo ourselves. All we're going to have to do is resolder this output jack, and then maybe one more cable here and there. Should be pretty damn easy. So. Yeah, I guess we'll time-lapse this part as well, and, let's get right to it. Alright guys, what do you think? I think it turned out great. I actually love it. There's some crap on it. That's just some debris I gotta knock off. But no, it turned out absolutely amazing. So that is how you do it. I would play it right now, give you guys a little example, but I still have to do a full setup on it. The action's way too high. This was something I got used, and yeah, I got to straighten the neck. I got to do a full full-blown setup on it before I can even play the thing. But I must say, the finish looks great. So that is how to hydro dip a guitar, bass guitar, really any instrument. Not too hard. Definitely, you know, take some time, take some patience, but in the end, you can take an old beat-up instrument and make it look better than it ever did. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully it helps somebody. My biggest recommendation is use quality paint, quality products like my clear coat. I use Rust-Oleum. If you want to use your primer, you should use either Rust-Oleum or I like this premium from Ace Hardware. This stuff's really cheap and it's really good. But don't get their crappy kind, get the premium kind. And yeah, take your time, step by step, and your results should be really good. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Peace out.